can really hear the dog chewing on the microphone. She's like slobbering on something under our feet. I thought it was the mister for a second. I was like, damn, that thing is really like, that thing sounds pretty gross. Like it sounds like someone eating. And then I'm like, oh, I look down, I just, stupid dog is,
Of course, it's the dog.
Of course. All my problems in life revolve around that dog. Who I love, but maybe I wouldn't mind if she was hit by a car.
Jeez.
But I love her.
You definitely don't want anybody listening to us from the future, do you?
Or no one listening from PETA.
Right? No, they like to kill dogs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. They like to kill dogs and kittens. You know, actually, the good as time as any. That should be like a segment. Like, just a...
Oh, that should be. What was that? That was what... I was trying to find that earlier, actually.
The, what was it called?
Is it Joe's Crab Shack?
Yeah, I think it was called Joe's Crab Shack. Like, PETA was putting out signs protesting them. So they went on Twitter and just started going nuclear on them. And, like, everybody. I think now it's going to be, like, their thing. Like, they tweeted out to PETA that this article about how PETA has, like, euthanized and killed all these dogs and cats. Presumably because they were in shelters or something like that. And then, you know, dogs that don't get picked out of shelters get killed.
Yeah.
And so, like, they, you know, this organization, which loves animals, has probably killed, like, a bunch. Kind of... What would you call that, ironically?
I don't remember, man.
I don't remember. It's not really a question of remembering. I'm sitting here talking to myself.
I'm trying to find the name of it, because I don't think it's Joe's Crab Shack, because it doesn't come up anymore.
All right.
Damn it.
See, she got too jacked up. Hold on,
No idea where she's running to.
Yeah, she'll probably be scratching on the door.
She's a bitch.
I'll find it in 2 seconds, I bet.
Nope, you're wrong. So, what was the name of that?
Jimmy's Seafood.
Jimmy's Seafood.
I told you I'd find it in 2 seconds.
No, you didn't.
I'm the tech wizard over here. So yeah, so then they started like doing that, and it wasn't just even like PETA they were attacking. They started attacking like people in the comment sections of their things.
Hilarious.
Like, yeah, some girl was like,
I would go eat there just because of that. I don't even like seafood.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like it's their gimmick now. Like, they just made some sort of internal decision. Like I think there was just some guy. You know, they must have a guy like you. Who,
Fuck it, we're going nuclear.
Yeah, like there's a guy like you who's like we can't let this guy on Twitter, which was my thought about you. Like I don't know if I trust this guy on Twitter. He likes to piss people off, and he's dangerous. and it was just like that Batman scene. In their time of anger, they turned to a man they did not fully understand. Actually, that's not Michael Caine. This is not Michael. In their time of anger, they turned to a man they did not fully understand. That's my Michael Caine.
Yeah, it's perfect. It was almost just like your Idris Elba.
Oh, this drugs. I have these impressions I can only do one line, and they're quotes impressions. You've seen the end of Goodfellas, right? Karen, why did you do that, Karen? That's my impression of Ray Liotta at the end of Goodfellas.
Jeez.
They would have found it. They weren't gonna find it, Karen. You gonna throw her outside?
I'll go do it.
Oh, well, I guess I'll just sit here then and talk about the...
Fill the air!
Oh, great. Be quick. Because to be honest, I just do not have that much stuff to say into a vacuum. And I don't like the sound of my own voice. I suppose nobody does. But I think I have better reason than most. You know, you can hear it. You hear it's a little whiny. And the bottom line was Jimmy's Seafood. They had a guy just like my friend over here, a radical, somebody who likes to say F you to people and then like doesn't care about the consequences.
What consequences?
Yeah, or maybe or just or not even the consequences. Maybe the better word is to say like the social like harumphing. You know, like when
it's
someone
fun.
goes to me like hey, don't do that. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, why'd I do that? Instead of
Hey, fuck you.
yeah, exactly. Your response. There's two ways to handle every situation. So
I like
yeah,
mine.
so I think that's like going to be their gimmick now, where they're just attack people. Because they went after that girl, and then they went after the dude. Like a dude like this. These are the tweets I saw. Like there was a girl, and they were like, "Hey, your hair stinks," and then a dude was like, "Hey, don't say that. I think her hair is great." And then they're like,
he's like, "You're not gonna get laid either way."
"Yeah, like wow, I can't believe a restaurant is saying this." Like what kind
Dude, I would have so much more respect if places went after people like that.
But this is what I was gonna say. You should have a weekly segment like this week's heroes in asshole.
Oh, that'd be great.
Heroes of not giving a shit. Like,
I'm gonna start looking for that.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Like, there's always one person there.
There was a place on Yelp where this lady left like a really bad review. This was a while ago, but it was basically like almost like a biker bar kind of place. Like, loud, rambunctious people.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what you're getting into when you go into it.
Yeah, yeah.
And this lady went in and, like, she wrote, like, a 1-star review and, like, wrote all these things like, oh, it was loud and, like, these people, blah, 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 blah. This pretentious shit. And the owner was like, bitch, did you not read all the other Yelp reviews before you came in? Like, this is a biker bar. Like, clearly we weren't a place where you were going to enjoy yourself, so you shouldn't have come.
Right?
Next time,
you got
don't
what you
come
bargained
in.
for. Yeah, like, it's a biker, like, yeah, it's like going to, like, a pool hall and being like, oh, they're all smoking. Like, there's still a place over here that they're allowed to do that, and I find that crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
which, actually, I don't know how they're allowed to do that anymore.
Yeah, it must be a
illegal.
grandfathered in thing, right?
Something.
But, that actually reminds me of, we might have talked about this in the past, but hero of the past in this category was that monk who, like, people were leaving, like, reviews of the monastery, and he was like, hey, like, fuck you, this is a, this is the way we eat, like, what'd you expect to come into a thing? It's like, you uncultured, like, son of a bitch or whatever it was. Like,
see, like, people need that in their lives. Like, they need to be called out, like, when they're being an asshole. Like, people respect you if you call them out when they're being an asshole. Maybe. I don't mind being called out when I'm an asshole. But trust me, I will have fun doing it to you.
Yeah, well, I suppose there's always a room for a little more honesty. I'll put it that way. You know how you said I sugarcoat the medicine you're trying to give them. I'm like, put it in with the honey. You say no, no, Robitussin.
Yeah,
drink
it's going all in.
Yeah, chug it. I said no. If you mix it in with tea, you hardly taste the medicine.
Choke on it.
Yeah. So that would be what I would say. Definitely, as long as I always appreciate honesty. I think that's what people appreciate in assholes in the end of it. At the end of the day, they appreciate the honesty. As long as you're somebody who's just not like looking like pick fights for nothing. It's a fine line. You gotta actually like believe what you're saying in, or like there has to be something true about it. That's that. Sure. That's the line. The fine. So when we're looking for assholes of the week, we'll have to watch out for that.
Yeah. It has to be truth that they're telling.
Yeah, you guys have to be saying like you can't just be some troll who's always on, looking for people to fight. You have to be a truth teller.
Yeah, have to go after hypocrites.
Yeah, an honest.
Call them out on their shit.
Yeah, that seems to be your new crusade now that you've been unleashed on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And by unleashed, I just mean like you finally have started to pay attention.
I've paid attention before. I've said it all in my head. I just never typed it.
Oh, God.
So now I'm just finally
his
typing.
Inside voice is becoming his outside voice.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well,
I can say some pretty fucked up shit sometimes.
Yeah. I've seen you when you're getting mad at the TV.
Yeah, see, like that is starting to come out through tweet.
Yeah. Just
Although I have kept everything fairly PG-13 rated.
well, just keep it above like there's certain things you can't like, you don't want to be attacking people like personally, or not so personally where it's like where it just seems like it has to be like there has to be something clever about it, There's a way to kind of make fun of somebody or attack somebody's point, even if it's like through an insult where it's not just like, well, yeah, well, you're an ugly like bitch, No,
I always go for the like Bernie Sanders' wife bankrupted a college.
Yeah.
Like that.
something along those lines. I'm saying like that's better than like that's the line that you don't want to cross. I'm trying to think exactly how I'd even characterize that.
Unless they're really being a bitch.
Well, it's different than
Or they call me a babbling schoolgirl.
You did get called a babbling schoolgirl.
Yeah, sexist.
Yeah.
Clearly, he has never watched or listened to this show, so he has no idea what gender we are.
That's true. And also, we don't babble.
Yeah.
And we're not schoolgirls.
I speak fact.
Yeah. Well, hey, dummy. I didn't graduate high school.
Hey, he went to a flagship university, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, well...
And Bush went to Yale.
That's true. So, I guess he also is a genius. So, what else is in the news? So, what's actually in the news today? I think in the news today is a lot of people...
It's just a bunch of shit.
Yeah, it's not really... I don't think any of these things, like, stories are particularly interesting to me because they're just people who want to get, like, attention. Like, they want to draw negative attention to themselves just for the sake of... Just to get the eyeballs on them. Like, Nike released the big Colin Kaepernick thing. And it was a picture of him, and it said, like, you have to, like, believe in something even if it means sacrificing everything. And then it was a picture, and then it says, just do it. Right.
Just do it.
Just do it. And I personally think that these brands should try and stay out of as much political stuff as they can. Like,
how hard is that?
Yeah, no one, like, no, you make shoes.
In sweatshops.
Yeah. Who's less political than a little...
Do you really want to be trotting out your dirty laundry in this debate?
I just don't like it. To me, though, it's just like an attempt to get people upset. It's like, why is that your thing? Yeah. Like, you want to get people into a fight with each other just so that you can, like, reap, like, the benefits. You know what I mean? Like, that's not good. Like...
Well, it destabilizes everything. So, like, yeah, maybe your profits go up a little bit, but, I mean, you're not going to win in the long run, though.
Well, I think in the long run it'll have, like, little to no effect. Like, this stuff, like, passes over so quickly that people don't even remember it. Like, or some of the other things that have been boycotted in the last, like, 2 years. And, like, have those kept up at all?
Depends on what side you're talking about.
Well,
boycotted by Republicans or boycotted by Democrats?
Which one is the ones that work?
Normally the ones done by Republicans. Seeing as though Nike's, what's it called? Their stock has dropped. I don't know if that'll keep doing that. I'm sure not.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was just an immediate reaction.
It's just a few people getting, like, kind of, like, nervous because they see it on Twitter. Yeah. But I don't think it's going to have a big effect on sales.
But guess which boycotts work the opposite way, though? That would be the Democrats' boycotts. Well, I wish Democrats would boycott us. Then more people would listen to
this show?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going on Twitter to do?
I'm trying. I hope they boycott Dead End Radio and then all the Republicans.
I think they already are boycotting us. I would explain the numbers.
I looked at a tweet yesterday about the Nike thing. And do you know who Big and Rich are? The country artists?
Big and...
Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy.
Wow.
Like, you've never heard of that band, though?
Let me put on my boots.
They're pretty big in country music, or they were. They're not as big now. but they were popular, probably like 10 years ago. And one of those guys posted on there, like, his sound guy was like an ex-Marine or something. He had cut, like, I guess they saw
I did see that.
Cut the top of his socks off. And so they posted that, and some Democrat on there was like, "Oh yeah, man, hashtag boycott, big and rich," or something like that. He's like, "I didn't even know who y'all were though, like 10 minutes ago." So it's like, can't really boycott them if you never bought from them.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that'll definitely apply with this podcast.
It's just funny. I read it and I was like, wow, you're a moron.
Yeah. President Trump's response was surprisingly, or like what his response was of this moment. Who knows, that'll change. He'll wake up in the morning, he'll have a little constipation, and then he'll be mad and be like, that's it, I'm going nuclear on Twitter. Actually, it's better
on Nike. Going nuclear on Nike.
Yeah, literally. He bombs Oregon or whatever it is. Like, where's their...
He starts talking shit about how they make their shoes in little sweatshops overseas instead of in America. Make America great again.
I wouldn't be surprised, but his actual response, like, at least at this moment, at the time of recording this, was like, well, I wouldn't do it, but, being, like, magnanimous. Like, this is America. We can all say what we want to say. It's like, oh no, Trump's sick. Oh no. Yeah, it's like they don't have to impeach him. I think he's dying. I think he had a stroke. He just said something that was like slightly reasonable. Oh, get him to a hospital. Get the doctor in there.
It's no fun when he's the responsible one.
Yeah, exactly.
No fun at all.
Yeah, so that's...
Nah, man, it was interesting news. I didn't understand why they did it.
I
tweeted from our account about it last night.
What'd you say?
I just said something like, Nike used to support great athletes, now they support bench warmers.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about him. Like, he would be more of an icon if he was actually good at his job.
Yeah. Well, and that's what Ben Shapiro, I saw, posted something yesterday about, like, Ali sacrificed something. Like, he was giving something up, like, when he did his protests, because he was actually big. Like, he was actually good at what he did.
Yeah, like, I mean, you just kind of,
Kaepernick was just a shitty quarterback that got benched because he was sucking ass for the 49ers, as they had one of their worst seasons, ever. And, so then started protesting because he's a piece of shit.
And the thing about it is, it's just not good for your team. Like, that's why nobody wanted to draft him.
Yeah.
Because, like, your team shouldn't have to deal with that. You have a personal thing, and a personal opinion, but, like, you're putting it in the spotlight, and you're making it, like, you're making an issue for everyone around you. It's just like that's why athletes always give, like, these boring, canned responses that, like, I mean, I don't like that kind of stuff, like, personally. Like, I prefer if they're more open to themselves, but I understand why they do it. Because, like, the second you make a comment, like, you have a bunch of reporters swarming around you, doing this or that, and it just kind of distracts everybody from where their head should be. Mm-hmm. So, like, I mean, you were, like, a detriment to your team, and, like, you weren't sacrificing anything. Like you said, you weren't starting. And now you're going to make a lot of money, like, by doing... I mean, I guess you can't say he didn't sacrifice anything, because, like, it did cost him the league. I don't know, like,
I think him being a shitty quarterback cost him the league.
No, like, he could have... Like, he would have been... Like, it's clearly because of the protest. Like, even, like, though he probably wouldn't have started again, or though he might have. Like, there's enough terrible quarterbacks where somebody would have picked him up or gave him a chance, and, like, he showed enough flashes of brilliance where people will always kind of be excited about him, or be, like, just willing to do just enough to try and get him. But, so he did cost himself in that way, but he was never, like, probably going to be a good quarterback again. And then they're kicking him out because of the controversy, because, like I was saying, it's like Tim Tebow. Like,
nobody got upset when Tim Tebow couldn't find a spot.
Yeah, and and it was for the same reason. Like, we don't want to have you on our team bringing like a billion reporters to answer stupid questions about like, so he's like praying, like, whatever it was, like.
Oh yeah, because that's bad.
Yeah, well, it's just media attention is just bad for teams. No, that's why everyone talks like, it was a great game. We loved playing them. They did their best out there. Robot responses.
I don't know. People are just such pussies nowadays.
Yeah, and you also wish that he would talk about it more. Like he said his thing when it first started, but then he hasn't really shouldn't he be like on like talk shows or something, like trying to bring awareness to the issue and coming in with something like substantive to say, give some numbers, something to support his claims, and just something so you can be like, it can be like, this is what I'm fighting for, so people can understand it more, fully. It seems like he did it. He kind of said something at the beginning, like, I'm doing it to like protest, like, I'm not standing up in a country that police are treating black people so brutally. But then he never said like much about it anyway, and it's like, he can get on so many things, like he has the access, and it's like, what are you doing now? Isn't this what you want to do? Like, don't you think, isn't this what's most important to you? It was more important than your NFL career. Mm-hmm. How come you're not talking about it? How come you're not going out, making the rounds, starting something, start an organization, do if it's this important to you and you think it's so bad, like start illuminating the issue for people.
Yeah.
But
I just think he's full of shit.
It comes off like that since like it's been 2 years and you've heard hardly anything about him saying it,
Yeah. I mean, he does that. Well, and then the other thing, is like after he did it, like, okay, yeah, it's a peaceful protest, all that stuff. And then like he looked like an asshole too, because he ended up wearing a Fidel Castro shirt, or that was right.
Maybe it was Che Guevara.
No, I'm pretty sure it was a Fidel Castro shirt.
Who wears Fidel Castro shirts?
Hold on, let me.
Che Guevara makes sense because that's the one that people like that.
Okay, so yeah, he did. He wore a Fidel Castro shirt.
Fidel Castro is, Che Guevara.
I remember that story too. He wore that shirt, and then a player on the Miami Dolphins who was Cuban laid his ass out, like at the very last part of a game. I think it was maybe like a 2-point conversion or something. Dude just blasted him, posted it on Twitter, and like called him a pussy or something. And
how did I miss that?
Dude, it was awesome. I was like, yes,
that's
call him out.
That's like a national. Awesome. That's like going to be a national holiday, for.
Oh, that's great, dude. Yeah, that was the other thing. So he wore a Fidel Castro shirt, and he wore those socks that had
the police with pigs on them.
Police, as pigs.
Yeah, that one I remember. I don't remember him. I don't remember this whole thing where this Cuban guy laid him out for wearing a Fidel Castro shirt.
Let me see if I can find that exact story.
That is funny. That is a great. Well, that's just do it. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything. That's what I say.
Dude, it was just hilarious. It must have been 2 years ago too, because that was the last time he was in the league. Right?
Yeah, it had to be at least 2 years ago. At that point, he was still playing though, so that was before the protest. That's probably why I don't remember it as well. Are you excited about football starting up, by the way?
I am pretty excited about it. I'm hoping that my team does pretty good.
I hope. Well, actually, I don't think I have any Steelers in the league that I care about, so I don't give a shit. Is Le'Veon Bell going to play this year or what?
I don't know. He's been a little bitch.
He wants his money.
He's getting paid too much already.
Every year, man, he's sitting out for something. I know. Like
he's a little bitch, dude. I'm getting tired of his ass.
Yeah, he's good.
James Conner's doing pretty good right now, as long as he stays healthy. Fuck Le'Veon Bell.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's You're either
Quit
with
being a little bitch and actually go play football.
Yeah. Well, they shouldn't have salary caps. Let the market decide. Let him make all the money he wants. They should pay him.
Well, let's see here.
All right. If this story is gonna take,
Damn it, I can't find it.
you're not a good Googler.
I'll find it later. But yeah, he did wear a Fidel Castro shirt, and then there was a Miami linebacker that blasted him and then posted it on Twitter, like the exact clip of him blasting him, called him a pussy and something else. It was hilarious, dude.
That's funny.
I was like, yes, sir.
What was I gonna do? Okay, well, forget it. Forget that story then. I'm not gonna look it up. I think we've had enough. I think I was gonna look up that thing that you were just talking about.
Because I bet we'll look at it later. Because it's we can't even show it to people right now. If anybody wants to go watch a funny clip, watch Colin Kaepernick get his ass laid out by a Cuban Miami Dolphin.
It's hilarious. Let's see here.
But talking about the whole like Nike situation and all that stuff, it's just funny. The news behind everything today has just been so strange.
Yeah.
Like talking about Nike, talking about the Brett Kavanaugh hearing and all that stuff.
Which I say is another thing of people just doing things to get negative. It's just doing things to get people intentionally mad at each other with no hope of actually accomplishing anything. Like Nike isn't hoping to help police brutality with their ads. They're looking to sell sneakers, and they don't care if that means we have to make millions of people get angry and pissed at each other and yell at each other. I mean, really, it's kind of reprehensible in a way. Yeah. Like, you know what your ad's gonna do. You know it's divisive, and yet just to sell a few sneakers, you're like, well, I don't care if I get the however many. Even if we don't have to be dramatic, say millions, say thousands of people, Yeah. But, I mean, millions will see it, obviously. But you get thousands of people fighting with each other, Even if it's just, Twitter fights, it's not fist fights. Just getting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just getting people in an argument. And it's the same thing with the Brett Kavanaugh thing where it's like, you're not... But at least, that's political. So it's like the gain you're making is political gain. So it's a little more, calculated. It's for, it makes more sense to their end goal to cause that kind of thing, whereas Nike is just we just want to start a fight for shoes. Yeah. Or this is sure. Well, we're starting a fight, but it's more what they're doing they're being dramatic. Yeah. Overly dramatic. They're doing the thing where you go into a party and faint or something. Yeah. They're being that kind of girl.
Yeah, it's just been crazy because they.
I don't know what that example that was. Sorry.
They had protesters. They let protesters in, and then they disrupted everything, so they had to drag them out for being assholes. And then, so, all that happens, and then the story behind, then they come up with this story that some lady, I haven't even seen the picture of it, I think you looked it up a second ago, some lady doing the OK sign, calling it a white power sign.
Yeah.
Holding your hand up, okay.
Her name was, it's actually trending right now, so you could just see it. Her name was Zina Bash.
Well, we were talking about how that's something that you can send on the emojis, right?
Oh, she's actually Mexican.
She's Mexican.
She's a Mexican American.
Oh man, those damn white power Mexicans.
At least that's what I'm just going through the trending thing. That's what the Reagan battalion.
I think she was also descendant from a Polish Jew too. Is another thing.
Man, she's a nice melting pot of America.
Right.
Although the symbol she's giving is where you hold your thumb and your pointer finger together, and then the three out.
Yeah. That's the OK sign.
It's the OK. There is an emoji for it. I don't think that has been exclusively claimed by. It's actually, you ever seen those YouTube conspiracy videos where people do this, it's the peace symbol. It's this is actually a Satanist symbol, and you had to prove every president is a Satanist or something.
So because of that story about that Hotep Jesus on Twitter.
Yeah.
that guy said, y'all out here calling Alex Jones a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
While y'all running this article.
That's
That's what he said.
That's actually... that's actually really funny because I'd actually let in exactly from what I just said.
Yeah.
It is like one of those conspiracy theory videos. Like you do, like, and there's literally people that do it. Like I remember a bunch of them about Bush and like
exactly.
He'd be holding his hand a certain way, and then like a lizard tongue would pop out, and like little flames came out of his eyes.
Yeah. So it's that, and then you know who Michael Malice is?
Yeah.
Okay, so
he's the guy that wrote the book Dear Reader about North Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, so he posted on Twitter, in the same way the emoji for a gun got turned into a water pistol, I can't wait until this emoji gets taken away. And then he puts the little OK sign emoji.
Yeah.
And said people need to understand just how pervasive this is.
Maybe they can cut off 2 of his fingers.
Yeah.
And it could be like just the pinky out and the thumb and the finger together.
And then somebody posted in the comments, but all these murderous implements are left unedited. And it's got like a pickaxe, a knife, scissors, a needle, a car, a bow and arrow, a bomb. They have a bomb emoji, but they changed the gun emoji.
Well, bombs. How is a bomb ever... responsible bomb ownership is important.
Hey, whoever changed that at the emoji office, you're pussies.
At the emoji office.
Put the gun back.
The emoji office.
Yeah.
There's somebody in a cubicle right now. Oh my God, we're being called out. Everyone gather around.
Change it to a water gun. God, this see, that's what gets people pissed off is when you kowtow to other people like that. Like, oh, we're gonna bitch a little bit, so now we gotta change things.
By the way,
no, fuck those people.
I just wanted more proof that you're a bad Googler. It was Kiko Alonso, and I have the picture.
Okay. I could have found it too. You've been looking for it for 10 minutes.
I honestly have it. I looked it up right before we started talking.
It was 10 minutes ago in a conversation.
No, but I just had it.
No, I've had it for a while.
I had it. I have had it.
Yeah, I've had it for a while, but I just didn't want to say anything till right now.
I did have it. I'll have to prove this later. We should tweet out that picture though. It's Kiko Alonso. I'm seeing the hit they laid at him. He's enjoying it.
Oh yes. Does it say what he said in it? He said something in Spanish that was like.
Actually, I had no idea Kiko Alonso was Spanish.
He's Cuban.
Way to be.
Not a lot of them in the NFL, I don't think.
Definitely not. Because most of them.
I think it's the height thing.
Yeah, that's what I was actually just about to say. You can't. Okay, no free ads.
Yeah, way to go.
No, I didn't. Well, you know what? I'm not gonna look up the tweet right now. Actually, or maybe I should do it just to prove. All right, I'm looking for the tweet. Ready?
Well, you
want to?
It is now. So it's that much easier.
Time me. Go. Colin. Oh, it's not coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. Not coming up. I'm such a great Googler. Should work at Google. I'm such a great Googler.
Okay, let's. I'm just better than you, clearly.
Okay,
all right, here it is. Daily Snark.
Real cool, Vince Vaughn.
He says, "Vámonos, cono." How do you pronounce that?
Come on, Mr. Spanish.
Vámonos, cono. I can. If I heard it, I might know it. Coño. Ay, coño. I think that's how you would say that. Say, ay, mira, coño, fuck me. At least you didn't call him like a pendejo. Or a maricón. Oh, actually, you know what's funny? I'm going to tell you about this. I saw this in someone's apartment. It was it was in Spanish, so you kind of have to know, like, puta in Spanish is like their kind of, I think we would translate it as bitch, but it's really more like hooker. and it's like every like and it's like well, this is how it's in Spanish. It was like everyone said like Castro is a hija de puta, which is like a son of a, like we would say a son of a bitch, was a son of a hooker, and like a hooker was holding the sign, and it's like, but he is like, but we are saying he is not our son, or something like that. What are you over there trying to Google, trying to work up your skills?
Nah.
What are you doing over there?
Just waiting on you to finish up your weird story.
So this is what we're gonna turn into. This is gonna end us.
This is what the people want.
Battle, strife.
This is what the people want.
That's all. Can't we all just get along? I'm sorry, I got skills.
What song is that?
What song is that?
Yeah, is that a gay Beatles song?
Can't we all just get along? Come together right now over me.
Hey, Ben Shapiro says most overrated band.
What does he know?
And he has facts over feelings.
He's not so smart. You ain't so smart. I know things. I'm not dumb.
Oh man. What else are we gonna talk about? Kind of all revolves around this whole like culture kind of war that's going on right now.
It just revolves around, yeah. I guess everything's just kind of about politics and fighting and being like petty online right now.
Yeah. What's like the other thing I've got pulled up is that the Feels Like Summer.
Oh, right.
That song. Good song. I don't even know what the lyrics were because I couldn't understand.
Actually, I was looking at them. I like that about like. I actually kind of like that about like his lyric. He doesn't go too specific in his lyrics. It's more like a feeling, like his songs. Like you just kind of have to, like, vibe out what he's meaning. I mean, and then like the music videos are way more charged than anything that he says in the song. If anything, the song sounds like it's a song about global warming. Right? The song Feels Like Summer.
Yeah, it does look just like something about global warming.
That's the way I would have read that. Like, if I didn't see a music video, I'm like, man, he's really concerned about global warming. And like, maybe this guy's right. Maybe it is hot. It is feeling like summer.
The song doesn't seem like it takes that much to write it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I actually kind of like that though. Like, or I like the fact that I don't like the fact that it doesn't take because like his talent seems to be more on like producing like music. Like his stuff is very like, it's highly like produced. Like the sounds that he's making, like he's adding a lot of like interesting things that are all like in the studio. Like he doesn't strike me as a particularly interesting person to see live because he's not he's not like much of a singer, like, or he's not doing much singing and he's not doing much like lyrically, but it's a lot. But it's like just the sounds emanate like it's like it's, I would say, like I said, it's highly produced. Like it's all very interesting. Like it's very vibey kind of music, but it's not so much about like, it's not exactly rap, and he's not like trying to beat you over the head with like a message with the lyrics.
No.
Like I think it's just supposed to make you feel a certain way, and it's like there's like an ambiance to like well, maybe that's not the right word, but there's like a certain like there's a certain like feeling to the words than an actual like message that's like clearly embedded in them. Like it's funny because like when you see it with the music video, you would like, and I'm not really understanding what he's saying at that point because it's not like in the forefront. Like it seems like it's trying to say a lot about like our culture now, because like what the music video is, it's him walking down the street. Him walking down the street, and there's just a bunch of different like rappers as he like passes them. It's like he's like Migos and who are some of the other ones?
I mean, it was Drake in there, and it had, I think, Cardi B and
Cardi B was over there.
Like, had a ton of people.
I can't believe he left out Tekashi 6ix9ine. That's not right. That man is topping the billboards. You can't treat a star like that. Why are people so jealous? That's what that is.
Maybe it wasn't colorful enough.
That's impossible. He has every color there is. He's a rainbow.
No, there was just he had that, and man, I hope Kanye says something.
Yeah, well, that was like the controversy over the video that Kanye was in there.
Yeah, crying, and then Michelle Obama of
like
all
hugs
people
him.
comes and hugs him.
Although I don't know why people, after you watch the video though, you kind of get like the same feeling about like, you know, he seems to kind of like to be throwing shade at all of them, sort of.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know why people. Well, that's just like I guess people just want to like that's like the most political. Like, well, Kanye is a bigger person, I guess, than any of those people.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't.
I hope he says something. It'd be funny.
Yeah, he hasn't responded. I mean, he won't say anything. I don't think until he releases like an album.
Yeah.
Like that's where he's better at responding through album than through like message. You know.
For sure.
He really is a. He sounds so much more reasonable when he's singing than when he's ranting. It's like he sounds, Kanye, yes, I understand you, sir.
Strange individual.
Yeah, good point, sir. Well struck, well made. And then when he's ranting, he's just like, man, this guy's insane.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
What are you looking at over there?
I'm trying to figure out what else we were talking about, because that wasn't all that we talked about.
There's just something on your mind?
There's something right there.
Hey, man, there's a lot of pain behind those eyes.
Nike talked. I mean, they could always talk about how Bernie Sanders, how much I hate him.
But he hasn't done anything very relevant recently.
No, he's just been talking shit about Amazon.
Yeah.
Pissing me off. I like Amazon. Amazon is great.
Amazon is good. Shit. Amazon employs a lot of people.
Oh, but hey, they don't pay them enough.
Well,
they couldn't employ as many people if they had to pay all of them more.
Well, it's also like, you know, they spent a lot of years.
You employ nobody for above minimum wage, I don't think. All your interns make minimum wage, even though you bitch about how everybody should make more.
Is that true? Is that a fact?
Yes, it is. It came out when he was campaigning that his interns all made minimum wage. Got in big trouble about it because he's a hypocrite.
Yeah, that's your like word of the week about him.
Or no, that's the word of a lifetime for him.
Yeah, word of last week, I'd say. You've just been attacking.
It's going to continue. It's going to continue. Unless he gives up the socialist nonsense, it will continue for the rest of his
Unless he cuts out all that jibber jabber about the numbers and the
1%.
Yeah, and
it's like you're part of that 1% in the world.
Definitely. Well, he's part of not even just the 1% in the world. He's probably part of the 1% just in the country.
America?
Yeah, for sure, right?
He definitely owns 3 houses.
I mean, yeah, he's pretty. How does he make his money?
Oh, it's not by taking money from corporations or anything like that, or PACs or anything like that. They wouldn't do that. He gets money from unions.
Yeah. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Is that like disclosed? Do people actually know, or people just don't investigate it? Cause
nobody gives a shit. He's a Democrat.
Because he was pretty irrelevant up until recently, and now people kind of love him. So someone should. Wasn't that like what Project Veritas does?
Come on, guys, get up there. I mean, they've been kind of doing bigger things, with like corporations like Twitter. So
yeah, what are they doing with Twitter?
A little. Well, you haven't seen all the stuff they did like over the last year with Twitter?
I don't think so.
Project Veritas?
I've seen some of their stuff. I mean, the last thing I remember them clearly was when they
did CNN. They called them out on the Russian stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't end up looking like great for that.
They did though, because basically
the Washington Post. The Washington Post was CNN. You're right. CNN, I think, came out looking bad. The Washington Post was the story I was thinking of, where like they tried to like plant a story, but the lady wasn't really taking it. But yeah.
Well, they did that. They did the school union up in like New Jersey and a couple other places where they got people saying like, oh yeah, no, if you fought a kid, like we can get you off, just like you have to say these things. And like, oh no, we defend people like this all the time.
For fighting kids?
Yeah, like punching, like, yeah, they had like somebody go in and say like, oh yeah, my brother, like he's a teacher, he just had an altercation with like a student and like knocked him down, and so like, yeah, we could definitely, like, he can keep his job. Like,
in defense of the teachers union, I've seen some kids beat the hell out.
Oh
of
no,
students.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like these are just like they said it like with just such ease.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, they actually had another one talk about sexual things between
students,
a teacher
teachers?
and a student, and they were like, oh no, we can get that covered up.
Man, there is more of that, right? Is that an illusion?
Yes.
Like, this is what I was talking about this somebody the other day, and I wasn't, I don't have a number on it, but is it an illusion that there's more sex scandals or more like sex between like students and their teachers, and like
I
particularly
think it's more widely
disseminated.
Covered. It's more widely covered now, but I don't think it's a change that's happening.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Like, is
like,
it more?
I had people in my high school that we knew were having sex with teachers.
Yeah, I mean, because me too. Actually,
one,
so
they were guys,
yeah.
Having sex with women teachers. So like, clearly they're gonna talk about it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know how the teacher like
kept
thought
that
was gonna be a well-kept secret.
Didn't happen. Didn't stay secret.
No,
especially not in a small town, right? Like, you gotta be like.
No, we were from a small town. Yeah, she had a husband too that like worked at the school.
Oh, yikes!
Yeah. It was bad, dude.
Yikes!
It was bad.
Damn.
There was actually more than one though that happened.
That same teacher?
No. Well, yeah, that same teacher, more than one student. But also there were other.
Damn.
I think there was a librarian too that something happened, and yeah, there was some shit that went on, man.
I went to the wrong high school. Or actually, like I said, there was a story like that around us too. So maybe I went to the right high school. Maybe I'm just the wrong person. Let me rephrase that. I have the wrong body.
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
I was born in the wrong soul. Damn.
It is crazy.
Yeah, that is nuts.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that's. I think it just gets covered more often now.
Yeah,
it's like a bigger deal.
That is what I figure. Like, it's like with most things with the news, where it's like murders have been going down for the last however many years, but coverage has gone up like 500% or something nuts like that. So it kind of creates the illusion that's like, man, like every teacher is just horny for kids these days.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, man. I think it's one of those things because like teachers are not like there's a lot of younger teachers or like like they're in their like 30s, and then you're around these like 18-year-old guys that are probably hitting on you.
Oh yeah, they're definitely hitting on you.
Like all that stuff and.
Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's actually. I guess what do you do in that situation if you're like a teacher besides not sleep with a kid, obviously? Like, but like I'm just talking about when there's like an 18-year-old, like, or not an 18-year-old, like a 16-year-old like boy hitting on you, and you're like 32. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird.
I mean, you don't even have to be 32. Like you think about it, like first-year teachers, they can be as young as 20. Like 21.
Damn. Well, that's. I wouldn't put a 21-year-old in that.
I mean, most of the time they're probably not going to be working like high school at that point.
27.
They're probably going to be working like middle school.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is like 25. Like you could be teaching.
They could. I'm just saying is that such. It's weird because it's sort of like, I mean, you're older than them. You're in a position of power. And so you should kind of have like the upper hand, you would think. But there's something about it still, the fact that like, it's still like a woman and a man.
Yeah.
Where it still feels like it's not exactly like a, it's not like it should be, or
Be careful.
like it's not a what?
Be careful, you sexist.
I'm not. I'm actually sympathizing a little bit for the teacher here. I think because I had some friends who were
by
pretty.
calling her weak and just falling for her obvious temptations.
It's not even that. It's just the fact of, it's just, I don't know. What do you do? Like, what is like the appropriate response if a kid is hitting on you?
Man, I don't know.
Like I guess that's what I'm wondering. It's like how. It's like,
I guess you just gotta call them out on it.
Yeah, like just report them. You just gotta like.
Well, I mean, maybe not report them like right away, but I mean, like you definitely have to be like, be very stern with the whole like, look, this isn't gonna happen. Like, so stop.
Yeah,
And
I
if
mean,
you don't
I guess that's
like,
what it is, right? You just gotta be like,
if you don't stop, then I'm gonna like go, like I'll make you stop.
You just gotta crack like the whip on them, like, hey,
Yeah.
like cut out that fucking like fratty boy bull crap with me. Like I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not interested in little boys, and like I don't know, because I definitely had friends who were like that with teachers, like they were very flirty.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
I had friends that were like that in 6th grade with teachers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like I had a 6th grade, I think it was social studies, and like we had a young teacher. She was pretty attractive, and like I had several friends that like every day was like hitting on her.
Like what kind of stuff would he say to her?
I mean, just like stupid, like junior high shit. But like,
thank you, Miss Purdy.
Yeah.
You all looking scrumptious today. You're looking like that apple on your desk. I just want to take a bite.
I mean, just like dumb shit. But like he was definitely saying it. She was just like, shut up.
Yeah.
Go to your seat. Like, just shit like that.
Why don't you come take a seat right here?
Some days where she like you could tell she was pissed off at it, and she'd like send him out in the hallway or something. But that was 6th grade.
Come on, baby. Why don't you come take a sit on right here?
Yeah, that's got to be like.
You want to come with me to timeout?
I mean, how old are you when you're in 6th grade? Like 11?
11. So young. It's so weird thinking about a kid like that hitting on you.
It's crazy.
Yeah, little boys are just crazy little creatures. Like the fact that you would think to do that to an adult.
I mean, maybe we were in 7th grade. Like
either way, it's still
God,
11,
it's still
12,
so young,
13 if you're late.
Yeah.
Hit and like you're trying to hit on a woman, like
yeah, it's probably twice your age.
yeah, like it's so strange, and it must look so funny coming out of a little like
Oh, it is.
like a little like hairless like little boy. Like you still look like a little boy in that. Like I mean, like
I don't know, man. I've seen some 6th graders recently, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, there's always one like that.
Human growth hormone are you on?
Yeah, right. Something's in the milk. The milk's gone bad. Chugga chugga. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It is funny thinking of a little kid like being pervy like that.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's a tough situation to put people in. Though.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be hilarious like if it was the other way around, right?
No.
Be weird. That's what I'm saying.
That would
That
be creepy.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. So
it's why like when people say like men and women are the same, I'm like, no. I don't think you understand.
Yeah, but I don't even understand exactly what it is though. Like in that thing, like why it is like because it definitely you're right. It would be weird and creepy like to have it the other way.
Yeah, for having like a girl hit on their male teacher.
Yeah, like
although man, like I've never seen them hit on them, but like even around that same time, like I remember the girls in my class saying stuff about like some of
like
the
he's
older
cute
teachers.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's cute, or like,
yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I guess, but it's just like that outward. Like I guess it's because it's just more natural to boys. Like you just kind of like like it's just boys being stupid.
Yeah.
Like when it would be very unusual. I guess that's what, like the thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the real thing. Because obviously, like everyone's coming into their body at that point, and like you're looking around at what's attractive, and like, you know, every boy is kind of attracted to their teacher, and I guess it's the same thing, you know, with girls, at least. Like, I mean, there's definitely, I remember a few teachers in our school that like I would hear girls like kind of swoon over and say, oh my god, he looks so good, or whatever, like, you know, whatever bull crap like that. So I mean, it is the same. I guess you just wouldn't expect that sort of same kind of outward, like, you know, the way men like hit on girls. Yeah, boys hit on girls. Like, it's a little different. Yeah. So you wouldn't expect it. And at that age, like, it would be really weird and it'd be very awkward for the guy, because it would be like it would be 10 times, you know, people still sort of like laugh off those stories of like teachers having, like, female teachers having sex with students.
Yeah.
You know, it's still kind of like, ha ha ha, luckiest boy alive. I mean, we just did that, so I just did that. You know, even though it is sort of messed up, like, you shouldn't be doing that with kids. Yeah. Ha ha ha, pedophilia.
Well, I think it's funnier, like, when stuff is happening, like, or like the hitting on stuff, but like, you know, they take it in stride and like just, you know, they're like, fuck off. If like they give in, it's kind of like, yeesh.
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with you? It's like what
the hell?
It's like a game, you know. That's like if like, you know, your kid's like he's play fighting with you and like hitting you like in the stomach, and then you just like slug him. Come on, you want to square up?
There's a comedian that talked about that. Like, he's like, oh yeah, one Christmas, you know, Mom got us boxing gloves. We're all sitting on my knees fighting the youngest one, and like, oh, you know, I'm acting all hurt. And I go to the next one. He's a little bit bigger. He's like, oh, I'm acting still hurt. So I get up to that oldest boy, and he punched me right in the nose. I beat the shit out of him. You did not punch Daddy like that. Mom took the gloves away. Everybody's crying.
That's funny. I haven't heard that bit. Yeah,
funny, dude.
But that's exactly what it's like, right?
Songs too. What is his name?
Not Wheeler Walker.
No, not Wheeler Walker, because he just sings songs, like, you know, that's all he does. But this guy's he's an actual comedian who sings songs.
There's a lot of them.
Country.
I don't know.
Bo Burnham, damn it.
Yeah, well, Bo Burnham has that one country song that's like, you know, he's kind of making fun
Rodney
of...
Carrington.
Oh, right. I've heard of him.
Yeah, he's funny.
You want to square up, motherfucker? That's funny. Yeah. That's what it's like, though, right? Like it was just a little game. Like, we're just kids playing out a little game. Like, you know, they're pretending like to hit on you. You don't actually go for the, like, ooh, he's so charming. Yeah. he showed me one of his Pokemon cards, and woo, how'd you get that Charizard? That hologram? Oh, Lord. Oh, sorry. Class, please dismiss. Not you. You stay. I like Pogs.
God, there was a story, actually. What happened? There was a teacher that got pregnant with a student. And then after something happened, like, I don't remember if it was after she got out of jail or something happened, they made him pay child support for the kid.
That's insanity. What?
That's how rigged our system is, man.
How can you make you agreed it was a crime?
Yeah, man.
You agreed legally that she raped him, right? Like, it must have been statutory rape, right? Like,
yeah.
But you still make him responsible for the kid?
Yeah, dude, it was amazing.
That makes no sense. I guess he is responsible for it, but you know, that should be a legal loophole. You know, if you're gonna say that he got raped, you can't also say that, oh, but he's but it was,
he needs to take care of this kid.
Yeah, but it's his responsibility. But he was asking for it. You know, come on, doesn't make any. You can't have you can't hold both those positions. That's justice hypocrisy.
It's crazy.
Right? I mean,
is this one of those stories that you read and you're like, what?
Yeah.
What did I just read?
That makes no sense. That's a mind boggler. I want to know who, like, I'd like to read, like, the justification in that case. And this so-called judge.
Man, dude. Yeah, the world is crazy sometimes.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It's crazy. It's crazy topsy-turvy world.
Yep. We have anything else we wanted to talk about today?
I don't know. It's kind of getting right at the hour mark.
Yeah.
We don't gotta push it. You can just kind of ease in
on that
yeah.
great story.
Well,
right
since
there.
we'll have we'll do another one during the week. So you gotta. This is like a freebie.
Well, I meant just that one on the cherry on top on that story. Just end it there.
Yeah, that is a nice little. That's a funny.
Let you think about that one over.
Yeah, right.
The
I need
next
to
few
think.
days.
I actually need to think about that one a little bit. Maybe I'll come back with thoughts.
I'll try to look it up and see if I can actually find like the article I read on it because
I bet I could find it.
Oh, I'm sure you can, Mr. Googler. The Googler. Your nickname's gonna be
the Googler. Cougs.
Googler.
Yeah, you ever seen that fake trailer for that movie Coogler?
No.
Pretty funny. Anyway, that's enough for now. we're talking like we're not on air. All right, good night. Okay, and thank you for listening. Do you want to thank them?
No.
So ungrateful. If you would like to email us with suggestions or mean, hateful things, you can reach us at thedeadendradio@gmail.com.
Or at Dead Radio USA on Twitter.
Where my lucky co-host will be insulting people he doesn't like.
Yep. But remember, if you send us bad things, I will come after you.
We're just instigating war. And that'll be at the end of all of these. So now, just for God's sake, don't get us in trouble. All right. Goodbye.